Hi, Karen Curry here, author of the #1 best-selling book, Understanding Human Design, with your weekly Human Design Evolution Transit Report. This is the last week in the Human Design year. The Human Design year actually starts on Wednesday, January the 22nd this year. So, if everything that came up energetically for us in the traditional calendar year, between Christmas and New Year's, is really thematically and energetically what we do this week. So this week we start with the Earth in the Gate 61. Our minds are reaching and stretching to think about the infinite possibilities of what could be. So, we're kind of dreamy this week. We're thinking, we're lost in our minds. We're sort of getting organized for this surge forward that happens next week. And kind of married with that, with the 62 in the Earth, we're also looking for practical solutions. So a lot of your daydreaming and potentially evaluating all the possibilities and thinking about what could be is nicely sort of enmeshed with this Gate 62 energy that says, okay, that's great. Now let's look at what some practical ideas might be, or some practical solutions to this infinite possibility that's available to us. So it's a really great time to kind of get into the mood of really looking at what could be for you in the next upcoming year. On Friday, we move out of the 61 to the Gate 60, and then in the Earth, we move out the 62 to the 56. So we settle in at the last hexagram of the year. We settle into this space where we're kind of looking back, and we're evaluating, what worked last year? What was great? What was fabulous? What maybe wasn't so awesome? What do I want to keep moving forward and keep evolving? How do I want to grow and expand with my dream and with my thoughts? And what do I need to let go of? So it's a nice quiet time. It's not an intense dramatic energy. There's not a whole lot of drama in the chart this week other than some of the stuff that's going on in the outer planets, but that's sort of with us all the time right now. So really a nice time to kind of get quiet and really ask yourself, what has worked? What do I want to keep working on? Where do I want to grow? What are my dreams and intentions for the upcoming year? Next week, when we hit the Gate 41 on January the 22nd, which is where we start our new year, next week, you really get to start putting some of that daydreamy stuff into action and really seeding your intentions for the whole year. So powerful, powerful week for just sitting back, evaluating, taking a breath, thinking about what's to come. Most importantly, particularly in the context of the outer transits, really important time for you to give yourself permission to think about taking some pretty big leaps of faith. This is definitely a year upcoming where we're going to still be taking leaps of faith. So, start practicing your leaping, start getting your leaping muscles firmed up and ready to go, because you're going to be leaping this year. Because if you're not leaping this year, this is just a little bit of a forewarning. If you're not taking leaps this year, you're going to get quagmired and you're going to feel stuck. So this is definitely a year coming up of huge momentum, and definitely a week to kind of get ready. So get to the metaphysical gym and start working on your faith muscles. All right. Just a quick summary of what's going on in some of the other planets. We've got the Gate 41 in Mercury, which moves to the Gate 19 in Thursday. So relationships have the potential to be really nice, really sweet, really intimate. A lot of fantasy, a lot of energy for intimacy. So as you snuggle up, with your vision board for the weekend, don't forget to also snuggle up with your honey. So a good time to just sort of stay home and be intimate together. We've got the Gate 54 in Venus, so we're still growing in our values, we're still growing in our relationships, we're thinking big. It is the time to think big, so just keep thinking big. We've got the 57 in in Mars, so we've got a lot of intuitive energy floating around this week. So trust yourself. If something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. If something feels fabulous, even if it's not logical, think about taking that leap and going for it. We've got the 39 in Jupiter, we've got the 43 in Saturn, we've got 17 in Uranus, 17 in Uranus, we got the 55 in Neptune, 38 in Pluto, 28 and 27 in the nodes. So that whole theme that we've been working out with for the last couple of weeks of struggle and provocation and continuing to get uncomfortable and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, recognizing that uncomfort or that discomfort is really a sign and a symptom of growth and expansion. We are going to be uncomfortable. Anything this week that didn't feel right, that you're frustrated with, that wasn't the way you wanted it to be from last year, this is your time to really recognize that that's your life calling you to get out of your comfort zone. That's your life calling you to let it go and to create it the way you really want it. You got a new chance coming up next week. It's a great time to wipe the slate clean and start over again. So have a wonderful week. Snuggle up, be quiet, be still, give yourself permission to think, to dream. Next week, Got more dreaming energy, but it's powerful, important dreaming energy that, as I said, will seed your intentions for the rest of the year. Talk to you next week.